Kawaii Critic here, and welcome back to another review of My Little Pony Season 6, Episode 16. The times they are a-changling. So, let's do a little recapping here, shall we? So we begin this episode with Twilight Sparkle and Starlight going off to the Crystal Empire with Spike, who is trying to go incognito, pulling off, or attempting to pull off a disguise, kind of reminding me of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle disguise, of just the raincoat and the top hat, including a pair of shades. He adds in a little afro, not impressing anybody. But on their way there, they notice it is a ghost town, and as soon as Spike unveils, the entire town comes out in almost celebration until they remember that there's a changeling about, so they go running away. And they get greeted by Twilight's brother, the wife, I should say, Princess Cadence, all the good guys. So they do their greeting, make sure everything's on the top and top, make sure everything's a-okay, and everything checks out. So Spike gets asked to pretty much lead this army or group of soldiers to try to find the changeling. He sort of just tells them to go places and then ends up falling in this cavern where he comes across what he thinks is a reflection, but ends up being the changeling. The changeling saves him, and Spike hesitantly sort of makes friends. And this is actually, I'll stop right here on the recap. This is something I noticed twice now with connection to the Gauntlet of Fire. I'm a little bit curious about whatever happened to this whole dragon code thing. Did Spike abandon that, or like he's been saved by these two different characters, and I'm like, does Spike have to serve the changeling, or did that go away? I don't know. But anyways, weird stuff aside, he says he's got to try to help. So he uses his title, the Great and Powerful, to try to convince the guards that he has made the changeling his friend, but they laugh it off, and Shining Armor finds it no laughing matter, and Spike immediately, with a bit of pure pressure, gets knocked out of his little momentum there. So he goes back and he tells the changeling, "Oh, I didn't quite get it to work." And the changeling shows, the changeling is named Thorax, and it talks, of course, so he says that he has this other sort of look to him. I don't know where he gets the look from, but Spike says, "Hey," well, I guess he says off camera, "Hey, we got this plan, you use that and we'll go in, once again, incognito, into the base of the castle." So Twilight has no clue that she's talking to the changeling, and they're going about doing their talking to other ponies, and everything's looking good. And he gets introduced to Princess Cadence and the baby, and that causes him to turn back, and everything goes blah, terrible. Everyone's like, "No, it's not good," and Spike's like, "Oh no." He gets pulled away, and there's this really quick moment of that sort of, I don't know if it's pure pressure. It's a really, really quick moment where he's just like, "Oh, I don't know, guys. I don't know if he's a bad guy." It's a really quick scene, and then the changeling runs back to the hideout. Spike once again goes there. We find out that changelings can turn into inanimate objects. Spike falls again, gets saved twice in the same episode, and yeah, that part was a bit odd, but it's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do it the right way this time, and we get a legit Spike solo song, which was nice. It's a little bit repetitive, but it's fine the way it is. I actually really enjoyed it. So yeah, that is about the crux of this is, we've seen this moral before, but the moral has a bit of baggage behind it with all the what the changelings have done before, and this is all about, you know, some like a one entity within a group. It does not that one person does not define an entire group, and it's sort of essentially sort of the message in a nutshell. So yeah, this is an interesting episode, but I felt like it actually had a very similar problem to the Gauntlet of Fire, which is, to me, another great Spike episode. And overall, Spike has been really great this entire season, but the endings of both of these episodes, at least for me, seem to carry this sort of there seems to be like this thing that it's building up to something. It's building up to something, and uh, once again, it feels more like a bridge type episode. There has to be something after this. At least I feel so. Um, and to be completely honest, when I first heard this episode, because I had looked it up earlier, but I had this whole thing in my head about what this episode was going to be, because I love to do that, love to ponder and stuff. So my initial idea of what this episode is going to pan out like was going to be like, oh, Spike does get saved by the changeling, yes, something along those lines, but he's in Ponyville. I thought this episode was going to take place in Ponyville, and the changeling was going to be there. He's going to interact with the main six, Spike being, and he would get different reactions from the main six. He would get the more aggressive side from like maybe Applejack and Rainbow Dash, sort of unsure side from like Twilight and Rarity, and then get like the understanding side from Fluttershy. Just to like have these different perspectives of the same thing of prejudice or being within, having this changing be a part of that group and being a part of that attack, but not really being a part of the attack. Um, I thought that's how the episode is going to pan out, and I don't even would have minded if they had kept the song in just as it is and just had sung it to the main six instead. But, I'm guessing that's a really stupid idea because it came from me, a reviewer that's so unpopular. And yeah, I was looking around on the interwebs and saw some peculiar shipping between these two, that being Spike and Thorax, was it again? Yeah. But, I don't know if that ship works more or less than Ember right now. I feel like Ember, just to me, is personally a stronger ship from that part. But, anyways, hey, if, Thorax is the supposed quote gay changeling, which is something I've actually saw quite a bit. I'm actually a little bit surprised, but if that is the case, hey, I'm single. All shipping jokes aside, and shipping OTP between me, Kawaii Critic, and Thorax, which I guess the name would be Kawaii X. I don't know, something like that. Anyways, that's all for this review. I'm Kawaii Critic, and if you like what you've seen, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!